And when the... Fuck. Oh, I can always change it, I guess. Okay, I got a resource booster, then I need to go get some more of these cones. I got one unread message.
The web gives me hope that musicians can finally produce their work without
I don't
selling
have any
their souls.
dockets or whatever. So this is FreedomGundam Cast. I think I'll probably like rename it episode 3 after I 3.5 after I check YouTube. Oh, my PlayStation's gonna do a kablooey or whatever. And you finally get a PS5 just being cheap. I need to make the Razorback safer so I can do this. I don't really know what it gives though. I haven't done this one in like forever. Oh, that's a good weapon, I think. Survival. I don't really know what I want to do, I guess. I could do sorties, I guess. I saw someone in Discord doing something about those crystals you can equip. I don't know how I did that. I need to ask him next time. I don't see where he did that. Oh, it's a pair. Oh, I need to max out the I got Dread. I need to sell that. I got Attica. That's one more level I can do. And oh. Yeah, I know I can swap that. I can swap my Warframe. I should probably sell one of these and make a new one. Don't I have? Yeah, I have Ash Prime. I don't. How do people get those Archon shards and equip them? I guess I have to do that. Okay. I'm still wondering what I need the Archon. What is this? Okay, I need to go do this. I think there's another quest I can do. A man, a few words. I've done all the main quests, I guess, until they add more. So I just need to go do my bounties, I guess. I've done Sai, but I just don't need to get Sai, I guess. Talk to Darvo and any relay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go to a relay and find Darvo, I guess. I think there's a relay in Mercury. Alright, we're going to the La Ronde relay on Mercury. Let's see if I can fast show up at Darvo. Okay, Darvo's.
Listen, I have a little job for you. Interested?
Is this the guy that sells
Something you
platinum?
might be interested in.
Oh, I do not have. Oh, I have this. I just don't have platinum to buy it. Even for discount, it's only 100 platinum.
So, Tenno, you up of the Grenier have gone too far. They're about to execute one of my most trusted contractors.
Oh no,
They
it's not
say
good.
he's a traitor, and that he was trying to steal a priceless artifact.
Terrible.
Baseless accusations. That's not the kind of business I engage in.
Nope.
So, what do you say? Will you help him out? And don't worry, you'll get paid too.
I get an Exos Morphin Adapt, but that's it. Okay. Okay. I went here just to talk to my. Okay. Okay, Exos adapters. Oh yeah, that's for like the stance mods to equip.
The Dusk Light Saracenia
Oh
goes
yeah, I need to
best in
get
absolute
this before I
filth.
do another quest, I guess.
100%
I need to go
pollution,
to
poisonous
Earth.
air, and water.
I
Really,
think
what
it's on
kind of plant thrives in those
exterminate
conditions?
missions.
Lovely name, though.
New Zealand is like probably one of the only good states in culture, music, food-wise. I mean, most states in America are kind of like commified. I'm not gonna say Texas isn't a good state, but they've been slacking. I mean, they got mosques. What the? How did I lose connection? And then you got me loading. I literally joined the fire team. Well, how?
The Dusk Light
I was really
Saracenia
trying
goes
to join a
best in
game,
absolute
bro.
filth. I mean, 100%
No, I don't want to do the new
pollution,
area yet.
poisonous air, and water. Really, what kind of plant thrives in those conditions? Lovely name,
I don't
though.
know. Let's go, come on. Void Death Orbs, favor Prime Warfare, and grant the one. Okay, Void Death. Okay. It's a Void Death Orb. I don't know how long Wolfen Games came out, but I feel like it's been out like 2 years. I feel like people crap on mobile games and those are like the new wave, I guess.
You are here to find our target and bring them to the extraction point. Happy hunting.
I need to get the synthesis skin. Alright, so we need to take this guy out.
We cannot let our target know we're here.
I think
Track
I can
them
do
down
this by
quickly.
myself.
Target located. Bring them in.
Okay, capture this guy.
Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done.
I need a few more of these. Gather. My brother.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
I'm getting standing. I'm trying to find these little things.
You are
I have to
surrounded
scan.
by Grenier Marines.
Okay, I'm using scans. I need to find where it is. Okay, I can't do that. Okay, I should have just did this by myself, I guess. Let me do exterminate. I mean, you added me from the game. I don't know why you did that. I'm trying to find stuff. Sunlight push. Is this what I need? Sunlight sheet. Where is it at, bro? I don't need Sunlight Jesus. I need Moonlight Dragon Lily or whatever. I need to do the exterminate mission. Here's something, but I didn't see it. So like first gun. I'm gonna have to do the exterminate one, I guess.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
That's cool, I can do that. Okay, I'm gonna have to do the exterminate, I guess. I don't know why these things are so annoying to find. Oh, what the? Okay, I'm going this way. only
work.
Moonlight
I am
Dragon
pleased with
Lily.
your performance.
I got Sunlight Dragon and Sunlight Baby. I should need one more thing. Walla 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 walla.
The Dusklight Saracenia grows best in absolute filth.
Okay,
I mean,
stop.
100% pollution, poisonous air, and water.
Okay.
Really, what kind of plant thrives in those conditions? Lovely name, though.
I need 2 more Moonlight Dragon Lilies. Dusklight Saracenia Morphix. Okay, so I'm gonna have to try... Extermination, I guess. Because it's not... Oh, wait, Moonlight. Oh, I think that's... Day ends in 1 hour. Yeah, I think I have to wait an hour. Jesus, man, really? Okay. Alright, well, I got tabs open on my phone I can read. I think I've... Let's see... My favorite thing to do is this. Let's see... I have to do chores tomorrow. I mean, it won't take that long. Oh, this boots up. I can... Ooh, it's an Organ Catalyst. Rescue the Contractor. I'm still wondering how I get Octavia's Anthem. Warframe Quest. Oh, so Mask of the Revenants get reach Observer rank with a 12. Okay. And that's for the Revenant. So I need to get Observer rank for them. Cephalon Suda. Okay, Cephalon Suda. Wish I could get some of these cool Warframes with like creds and stuff. Gotta put in money in the game. Let's go anyway. No, I'm not doing that. I think for Warframe 1999, I just need to like farm ducats or malware found.
Passion is what drives me. Not just some desire for success.
Modified Python. Okay. Oh. What does this mean? Oh. This means I get more standing, I guess. I'm gonna have to wait an hour anyway. Okay. This is from Elf Impact News. You can find this on archive.today. Convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell clears Trump of any wrongdoing with Epstein in exchange for prison transfer, by Brian Shilhavy, editor of Health Impact News. Convicted child sex trafficker and associate of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell was given immunity recently to talk to Trump's Department of Justice about Jeffrey Epstein, and she was also offered a transfer out of her maximum security prison to a prison club in Texas instead. Late yesterday, the Department of Justice released this transcript of the interview with her. In surprise of surprises, Maxwell declared that President Trump was a great guy, never did anything inappropriate. Apparently, that's all it was needed to convince Magalan, the word of a convicted child sex trafficker, they cleared Trump's name. President Trump's close allies are welcoming convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, telling top Justice Department officials she never witnessed him in any inappropriate setting with young girls in his history of dealing with Jeffrey Epstein. MAGA loyalists quickly began circulating passages of Maxwell's interview transcript released by Department of Justice on Friday, in which Epstein's former girlfriend says she never witnessed the president committing any wrongdoing. In an interviewing following the release of the transcripts, Laura Loomer, the activist and MAGA influencer, said she believes Maxwell's testimony proved that Trump had always been an honorable person, and the release of the transcript will ease any division among his supporters. Maxwell will probably also be pardoned at the end of Trump's term. Imagine how all the victims of Maxwell and Epstein must feel right now. Ben Mycelis has an update on the story. He concludes that Ghislaine Maxwell now has Trump leverage, is basically running the White House and the prison camp where she is staying, as she has had one other inmate complain about housing a violent sex offender in their cushy country club like Prison Texas for nonviolent criminals, and this fellow inmate was then allegedly shipped out to a more secure prison immediately to appease Maxwell. Alan MacLeod from Mint Press News has published an excellent deep dive investigation this week about the Maxwell family and their ties to Israel and India intelligence agencies, the CIA, Mossad, and Epstein, unraveling intelligence ties of the Maxwell family, by Alan MacLeod, Mint Press News. With speculation mounting that Trump could pardon her, Mint Press profiles the family convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, from a media-bearing father who acted as a high-level spy for Israel, his sister working to push Tel Aviv's interests in Silicon Valley, and brothers who found a dubious but highly influential anti-Islamic extremism think tank, and nephews in influential roles at the State Department and White House. The Maxwell clan have wide-ranging ties to U.S. and Israeli state power. This is their story. Releasing Ghislaine bearing the Epstein files. Speculation is growing that Ghislaine Maxwell could soon be freed, despite campaigning on the promise to release the Epstein files. There are increasing signs that the Trump administration is considering pardoning the world's most notorious convicted sex trafficker. Last month, Trump, who contemplated the idea in his first term in office, repeatedly refused to rule out a pardon, saying to journalists, "I'm allowed to do it." Just days later, Maxwell was transferred across states to a minimum security facility in Byron, Texas, a highly unusual practice. Neither woman convicted of sex crimes nor those of more than 10 years remaining on their sentences are generally permitted to be transferred to such facilities. The move sparked equal measures of speculation and outrage. The decision to relocate Maxwell came after someone, potentially a source within her team itself, began leaking incriminating and embarrassing evidence linking Trump to Epstein. This included a birthday card Trump sent Epstein, featuring a handwritten nude woman accompanied by a text, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." For years, Maxwell aided her partner Jeffrey Epstein in trafficking and raping girls and young women, creating a giant sex crime ring in the process. Epstein's associates included billionaire scientists, celebrities, and politicians, including President Trump, whom he considered his closest friend. In 2021, 2 years after Epstein's mysterious death in a Manhattan prison, Maxwell was found guilty of child sex trafficking offenses and was subsequently sentenced to 20 years in prison. I mean, that's kind of low for sex trafficking. It should have been at least 60. The news that Trump may soon free such an infamous criminal sent shockwaves through his base and drew charges of blatant corruption from the media. Is there any reason to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell except to buy her silence? Ran the headline in one article on the Hill. Meanwhile, Tim Hogan, senior Democratic National Committee advisor, announced what he claimed was a government cover-up in real time. Donald Trump's FBI, ran by loyalist Kash Patel, redacted Trump's name from the Epstein files, which has still not been released, he said. Robert Maxwell, media tycoon and Israeli operative. While many of Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes have come to light, Less well known are her family's myriad connections of both the U.S. and Israeli national security states. Chief among these are those of her father, the Swiss media baron and early tech entrepreneur Robert Maxwell. A Jewish refugee fleeing Hitler's occupation of his native Czechoslovakia, Maxwell fought for Britain against Germany. After World War II, he used his Czech connections to help funnel arms to the nation-state Israel, weapons that helped them win the 1948 war and carry out the Nakba, the ethnic cleansing of nearly 800,000 Palestinians. Maxwell's biographers Gordon Thomas and Martin Dillon write that he was first recruited by Israeli intelligence in the 1960s and began buying up Israeli tech corporations. Israel used these companies in their software that carry out spying and other clandestine operations around the globe. Maxwell amassed a vast business empire of 350 companies employing 16,000 people. He owned an army of newspapers including the New York Daily News, Britain's Daily Mirror, and Mariva Israel, in addition to some of the world's most influential book and scientific publishing houses. With business power came political power. He was elected to the UK Parliament in 1964 and counted U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and Soviet Premier Mikhail Gorbachev among his closest friends. He used this influence to advance Israeli interests, selling Israeli intelligence gathering software to Russia, the US, the UK, and many other countries. This software included a secret Israeli backdoor that allowed the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad to tap into classified information gathered by governments and intelligence agencies around the world. At the same time, it was expanding its espionage capabilities. Israel was developing a secret nuclear weapons program. This project was exposed to Israeli peace activist Mordecai Vanunu, who in 1986 leaked evidence to the British press. Maxwell, one of Britain's most powerful press barons, spied on Vanunu, passing photographs and other information to the Israeli embassy, intelligence that led to Vanunu's international abduction to Mossad and his subsequent imprisonment. His death was also surrounded by controversy similar to Epstein's. In 1991, his lifeless body was found in the ocean in what authorities ruled a bizarre accident whereby the tycoon fallen from his luxury yacht. To this day, his children are split on whether they think he was murdered. The rumors that Maxwell had for decades been acting as Israeli super spy were all but confirmed by the lavish state funeral he received in Jerusalem. His body was interred at the Mount of Olives, one of the holiest sites in Judaism, the spot from whence Jesus is said to have ascended to heaven. Virtually the entirety of elite Israeli society, both government and opposition, attended the event, including the fewer than 6 living heads of Israeli intelligence organizations. President Chaim Herzog himself performed the eulogy. Also speaking at the event was Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, who stated that Robert Maxwell has done more for Israel than can today be said. In the United Kingdom, however, he's remembered as family, a man with a fearsome reputation. Maxwell ruled his media business with iron fist in a similar vein to Rupert Murdoch, another individual with extremely close links to Israel. After his death, it transpired that he had stolen more than $500 million from his employees' pensions fund to bail out other failing companies in his empire, leaving many of his workforce retirement plans in tatters. As a newspaper, The Scotsman remarked 10 years later in 2001, "If Maxwell despised in life, he was hated in death when it emerged he had stolen £440 million from the pension fund and Mirror Group newspapers. He was officially the biggest thief in British criminal history." Isabel Maxwell, Israel's woman in Silicon Valley. Even before it had been published, Isabel Maxwell, Robert's daughter and Glycerine's older sister, managed to obtain a copy of Thomas and Dillon's biography. She immediately flew to Israel, the Times in London reported, where she showed it to a family friend and Deputy Director Mossad, David Kimchi. These actions enabled her to beat the book's central allegation that her father was indeed a high-level Israeli super spy. Isabel has enjoyed a long, successful career in the tech industry. In 1992, along with her twin sister Christine, she founded a company that developed one of the Internet's first search engines. After the pension scandal, however, she and her siblings shifted their focus to rebuilding every facet of their father's collapsed business empire. The sisters sold the search engine, netting enormous profits. As Israel outlet Haaretz noted in 2001, Isabel decided to dedicate her life to advancing the Jewish state's interest, vowing to work only on things involving Israel as she believes in Israel. Described by former Mint Press journalist and investigative reporter Wendy Webb as Israel's backdoor into Silicon Valley, she has transformed herself into a key ambassador for the country in the tech world. Maxwell created a new niche for herself in tech as a liaison between Israeli companies in the initial development stages and private angel investors in the U.S. At the same time, she shows U.S. companies interested in opening development centers in Israel, wrote local business newspaper Globes. She lives intensively, including innumerable flights back and forth between Tel Aviv and San Francisco, it added. Isabel is known to be the source of much of the world's most controversial spyware and hacking tools used by repressive governments the world over to surveil, harass, and even kill political opponents. This includes the notorious Pegasus software used by the governments of Saudi Arabia to track Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi before assassinating him in Turkey. Isabel built on her father's political connections. My father was most influential in my life. He was a very accomplished man and achieved many of his goals during his life. I learned very much from him and have made many of his ways my own. She said, this included developing intimate ties to myriad of Israeli leaders, including Ehud Olmert and Ehud Barak, one of Jeffrey Epstein's closest associates. During the 2000s, she was a regular participant at Herzliya Conference, an annual closed-door gathering of the West's most senior political intelligence officials, in addition to being a technology pioneer at the World Economic Forum. Excuse me. She was also placed on the board of the Israeli government-funded Shimon Press Center for Peace and Innovation and the American Friends of the Yitzhak Rabin Center for Israeli Studies, two organizations closely associated with those former Israeli prime ministers. In 2001, she became the CEO of iCognito, taking the job in her words because its economy is in Israel and because of its technology. The technology in question was aimed at keeping children safe online, highly ironic given that her sister was actively trafficking and abusing minors throughout that period. Isabel was a much more serious and accomplished individual than Ghislaine, as Haaretz noted. While her younger sister Ghislaine makes the gossip columns after breakfasting with Bill Clinton because of her ties with another close friend, Britain's Prince Andrew, Isabel wants to show photos taken of herself with the Grand Mufti of Egypt, or of Bedouin in Ascent, or of visits to a Gaza refugee camp. In 1997, Isabel was appointed president of the Israeli tech firm ComTouch. Thanks to her connections, ComTouch was able to secure investment from many of the most prominent players in Silicon Valley, including Bill Gates, a close associate of both the Maxwell family and Jeffrey Epstein himself. Christian Maxwell, funded by Israel. Isabel's twin sister, Christine, is no less accomplished. A veteran of the publishing and tech industry, she co-founded data analytics firm Chiliad. As CEO, she helped oversee the production of a massive counterterrorism database that the company sold to the FBI during the height of the War on Terror. The software helped the Bush administration crack down on Muslim Americans and tear down domestic civil liberties in the wake of 9/11 and the Patriot Act. Today, she's a leader and co-founder of another big data corporation, Tectonic Insight. Like his sister and father, Christian has a close relationship with the state of Israel. She is currently a fellow at the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy, ISGAP, where her biography states. She works to promote innovative academic research that leverages enabling technologies to empower proactive understanding and combating the great dangers of contemporary anti-Semitism and enhancing the ongoing relevance of the Holocaust for the 21st century and beyond. ISGAP's board is who's Israel's national security data officials. This includes Natan Sharansky, former Minister of Internal Affairs and Deputy Prime Minister of Israel, and Brigadier General Saima Vakanin-Gil, the former Chief Censor for the IDF and Director General of the Ministry of Strategic Affairs and Diplomacy. Also on the board is Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. The think tank was a key player in the U.S. government's decision to repress the 2024 Gaza protests on university campuses nationwide. The group produced reports linking student leaders with foreign terrorist organizations and promoted dubious claims about a wave of anti-Semitism washing over American colleges. It met frequently with both Democratic and Republican leaders and urged them to investigate, i.e. repress the leaders of the demonstrations. ISGAP has continually warned of foreign intelligence on American campuses, producing reports and holding seminars detailing Qatar's supposed stranglehold over the U.S. higher education system, and linking that with growing anti-Israel sentiment among America's youth. Yet if ISGAP wished to investigate other foreign government influence operations, it will not have to look far, as its own funds overwhelmingly come from a single source, the Israeli state. In 2018, an investigation found that Israel's Ministry of Strategic Affairs, then headed by Brigadier General Vaknin-Gil herself, channeled $445,000 into ISGAP, a sum representing nearly 80% of its entire revenues for that year. ISGAP failed to disclose the information to either the public or the federal government. At the height of the concern over foreign influence in American politics, the news barely registered. Since then, the Israeli government has continued bankrolling the group to the tune of millions. In 2019, for example, it approved a grant of over $1.3 million to ISGAP. Thus, in his role as a fellow at the organization, Christian Maxwell is a direct beneficiary of Israeli government cash. Third-generation Maxwells work in the U.S. government. While Robert Maxwell's daughters were close to state power, some of the family's third generation have taken up positions within the U.S. government itself. Shortly after graduating from college, Alex DeGerasi, Isabel Maxwell's only son, was employed by Hillary Clinton on her 2007-2008 presidential campaign. DeGerasi drafted memos, briefings, and policy papers for the Clinton team, helped prepare for more than 20 debates. The Clinton and Maxwell families are closely intertwined, close identifications with Hillary's daughter Chelsea, and appeared prominently at her wedding. Both she and Jeffrey Epstein were invited multiple times to the Clinton White House. Long after Epstein was in jail, President Bill Clinton invited Ghislaine to an intimate dinner with him at an exclusive Los Angeles restaurant. Although she bailed in her bid for the White House, President Obama named Hillary Clinton as his Secretary of State, and one of her first actions was to appoint DeGerasi to her team. He quickly rose in ranks, becoming Chief of Staff of the Office of the Assistant Secretary of State, Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs. In this role, he specialized in developing the United States policy towards Israel and Iran, although he was also worked in U.S. occupation of Iraq and accompanied Clinton on visits to Israel and the Arab world. While at the State Department, he served as a U.S. government representative to the Friends of Libya and the Friends of the Syrian People conferences. These were two organizations of hardline hawkish groups working towards the overthrow of those two governments and their replacement with U.S.-friendly regimes. Washington got what it wanted. In 2011, Libyan leader Colonel Gaddafi was overthrown, killed, and replaced by Islamist warlords. And last December, longtime Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, father Russian, was replaced by the founder of Al-Qaeda in Syria, Abu Muhammad al-Julani. Yeah, so ex-Al-Qaeda, HTS. DeGerasi was later appointed an associate at the U.S. government-funded think tank, the Carnegie Endowment for Peace. While there, he again specialized in Middle East policy, his bio noting that he worked on matters relating to democratization and civil society in the Arab world, the Arab uprisings, and Israeli-Palestinian peace. Today he works in Silicon Valley. While DeGerasi's fortunes were tied to the Clinton faction of the Democratic Party, his cousin Xavier Molina, Christian Maxwell's eldest son, backed the right horse, working on the Obama-Biden 2008 presidential run. He was rewarded for his good work position in the White House itself, where he became a staff assistant at the Executive Office of the President. Like his cousin, once his time in office was over, Molina also secured a position at the Carnegie Endowment for Peace before pursuing a career in the tech world, working for many years at Google in the Bay Area. He currently works for Disney. While the actions of parents and grandparents should not determine the careers of later generations, the fact that two individuals who come from a multi-generational family of unrepentant spies and operatives of a foreign power secured positions at the center of U.S. state is at least worthy of note. The Maxwell brothers, from bankruptcy to counterterrorism. Much of the Maxwell clan is most influential in American and Israeli politics. However, brothers Ian and Kevin also hold considerable sway over affairs in their native Great Britain. Although being acquitted of charges over widespread allegations that they helped their father, Robert plundered over $160 million from his employees' pension fund, the brothers kept a low profile for many years. Kevin, in particular, was known for little more than being Britain's biggest ever bankrupt, with debts exceeding $500 million. However, in 2018, they launched Combating Jihadist Terrorism and Extremism, COGIT, a controversial think tank pushing for a far more invasive and heavy-handed government approach to the question of radical Islam. In the organization's book, Jihadist Terror, New Threats, New Responses, Ian writes that COGIT was set up to play a catalyzing role in the national conversation and to answer difficult questions arising from the issue. Judging by the content of the rest of the book, this means pushing for even more extensive surveillance of Muslim communities. Within Britain, COGIT was a highly influential organization. Its editorial board and contributors were a who's who of high state officials, including participating in its inaugural conference in London in 2018 included Sarah Khan, the government's lead commissioner for counterterrorism, and Jonathan Evans, the former Director General of MI5, Britain's domestic intelligence agency. Like so many Maxwell projects, COGIT appears to have wrapped up its affairs. The organization has not updated its website or posted anything on social media channels since 2022. In fairness, the past few years, the brothers have had other parties leading the campaign to free their sister Glycerin from prison, insisting that she's entirely innocent. And a man reminiscent of Rod Maxwell, however, it appears that Kevin may have filled the paid defense team. In 2022, Maxwell's lawyers sued him, seeking unpaid fees of nearly $900,000. Infamous Mr. Epstein. For years, Glycerin, Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein ran a sex trafficking ring that exploited hundreds of girls and young women. They were also connected to vast networks of the global elite, including billionaire business owners, royalty, star academics, and foreign leaders among their closest acquaintances, leading to intense speculation about the extent of their involvement in their many crimes. It is still unclear when Epstein first met with Maxwell, so some alleging that he was recruited into Israel intelligence by Robert Maxwell. Others state the relationship only began after Robert's death, when he saved the family from penury following its financial problems. Only 1 month after his 2019 arrest, Epstein was found dead in his New York City prison cell. His death was officially a suicide, although his family has rejected this interpretation. Perhaps the two most powerful individuals in Epstein's circle of confidence were President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Clinton, already infamous for the numerous accusations of sexual misconduct against him, is known to have flown at least 70 times on Epstein's jet, nicknamed the Alita Express. It was accused by Epstein victim Virginia Guthrie of visiting Little St. James Island, the multimillionaire's private Caribbean residence where many of his worst crimes took place. Trump arguably was even closer to the disgraced financier. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy, he said in 2002. He's a lot of fun to be with. His even say he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them on the younger side. No doubt about it. Like Clinton, Trump flew on the Alita Express. Epstein attended his wedding to Marla Maples in 1993 and claimed to have introduced him to a third life Melania. Unfortunately, while Epstein's ties incriminate the entire political establishment, coverage has often been framed as a partisan issue. A Mint Press study of over 1 year of Epstein's coverage on MSNBC and Fox News found that each network downplayed his connections to their preferred president, while emphasizing and highlighting the links to the leader of the other major party. As a result, many in the United States see the affair as an indictment of their political rivals rather than of the political system as a whole. There also remains the question of Epstein's link to intelligence, something that has been openly speculated about in the media for decades, even years before any allegations against him were made public. Throughout the 1990s, Epstein's biographer Julie K. Brown noted he openly boasted about working for both the CIA and Mossad, though the veracity of his claims remains in doubt. As the Britain Sunday Times wrote in 2000, he's Mr. Enigmatic. Nobody knows whether he's a concert pianist, property developed by a CIA agent, a math teacher, or a member of Mossad. It is possible there is at least a grain of truth to all of these identities. Epstein met with U.S. Deputy Secretary of State William Burns 3 times in 2014. Burns would later be named director of the CIA. Burns' proximity to Epstein, however, pales in comparison to that of former Israeli Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, and Defense Minister Ehud Barak. Between 2013 and 2017 alone, Barak is known to have traveled to New York City and met with the convicted criminal at least
30 times, sometimes arriving at his Manhattan mansion, incognito or wearing a mask to hide his identity. Numerous sources have commented on Epstein's connections to Israeli intelligence. A previous girlfriend victim is referred in court documents as Jane Doe 2000 hide her identity, testified that Epstein boasted about being a Mossad operative, and after he raped her, she could not go to the police because the position as a spy made her fear for her life. Doe generally believed that any reporting the rape by what she believed to be a Mossad agent with some of the most unique connections to the world would result in significant bodily harm or death to her, reads the court filing. Ari Ben-Menashe, a former senior official in Israel's military intelligence director, claimed that Epstein was a spy and that he and Ghislaine Maxwell were running a hunting operation on behalf of Israel. Four anonymous sources told Rolling Stone that Epstein had directly worked with the Israeli government. Unlike much of the Maxwell family, however, his Israeli intelligence connections are based largely on testimony and unverified accounts. His only known trip to the country was in April 2008, just before his sentencing, a move that sparked fears he would seek refuge there. Nevertheless, there has been intense public speculation that he could have been working for Tel Aviv. At the Turning Point USA Student Action Committee, at the Turning Point's USA Student Action Summit 2025, former Fox News host Tucker Carlson stated that there is nothing wrong, hateful, anti-Semitic about asking questions about Epstein's foreign connections. No one's allowed to say that the foreign government is Israel, because we've been somewhat cowed into thinking that that's naughty, he said before expressing his exasperation about the media silence on the issue. What the hell is this? You have the former Israeli Prime Minister living in your house. You have all this contact with foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of a foreign government? Carlson's comments drew harsh condemnation from former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. The accusation that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel, the Mossad ring, at Blackwell ring, is categorically and totally false. Epstein's conduct, both the criminal and the nearly despicable, had nothing whatsoever to do with Mossad, the state of Israel, he wrote. This accusation is a lie being peddled by prominent online personalities such as Tucker Carlson, pretending they know things they don't. He had concluded that Israel is under attack for a vicious wave of slander and lies. So that means they probably did it. Whatever the truth of Epstein is, it is indisputable that the powerful Maxwell family holds wide-ranging connections to the U.S. brain and Israeli state power. It is also beyond doubt that if the full story of their activities were ever to reach the public, it would incriminate a significant number of the world's most powerful people organizations. Perhaps that is why Trump has, in short order, gone from anonymous stories to Epstein files to potentially releasing his accomplice. Yeah, you can read the full article at Mint Press, and like I said, I've archived it on archive.today. None of this stuff is actually old news. I mean, it's within the year, like, news, but it's not like, current day, September news, I guess. You only have the budget of, like, Fox News or Tucker Carlson media crew. Been almost an hour. I am not streaming until 2 in the morning. I guess I have 54 minutes until the day ends. That's what Setis is telling me.
Hey, are you gonna help these people?
I don't know how I get Naya or Haya. How do I get intrinsic bonus? Oh, do I have to do Railjack stuff? Okay. Then you get this Railjack. Oh, not Railjack. You get more, currency for, these guys. So, Jeffrey Epstein was a pretty powerful guy. He's a sex trafficker. He was friends and associate with Ghislaine Maxwell, one of the daughters of Robert Maxwell. He was a super spy and stuff. I mean, he was really assassinated on his own boat. They gave him The freaking funeral on Mount Hermon. That's what it calls. I mean, I read the article, so yeah. I don't think we even do any of that for like the CIA in America, like FBI. We probably like burn that body as in case they like, you know, betray the country or something. You know, the fact I didn't know he sounded like Gorbachev. I never knew that. That's the first time I found out. That's news to me. Okay, so someone's got...
Yo, tech clock signals down to 50%. Take it to zero. Tech's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook.
Swamp
I
chicken.
said, let it come.
Oh, swamp chicken. You can only play this game was gonna give me a good deal. I could YouTube, I mean. Oh, my Cupra's dead, or Helmut, or whatever. Okay. Take that. Still alive? Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Are we all on the ground level? What are we doing? Be good, bro. That's what every government says. Like, oh, he's not like the intel guy. That's how they like denial and stuff. They don't want to just, you know, be truthful. Oh, a hex trigger, where that is. Isn't that cool? Or a memento. These dudes are like master rank 19, 13. my attack and hitting.
Haulers, I need haulers. Get the currency for this faction. Where's the last enemy at? So you're trying to get everything, huh?
You proper sent the tech rock back to the Stone Age. Bring it home, fam.
Yeah, let's just get it. What the fuck? That guy left. Alright. I don't know why the heck he left. I'm gonna get all the treasures. I don't know where they're at. That's 919. I'm waiting here then. Tiger Shrika. Let's go. I got 26k haulers. So I need to max out the attic at Nicolaya, and I can like delete the attic. I got an identified primary crux, and that's kind of cool. One of those arcane things. Maybe they get like a lot of these new articles done.
The dusk-light Saracenia grows best in absolute filth. I mean, 100% pollution, poisonous air, and water.
Yes, I know,
Really,
I know.
what kind of plant thrives in those conditions?
Yeah, I have to wait for like
Lovely name, though.
nighttime, so it's like 45 more minutes. Alright, CBS News. Southern Norway's crime princess charged with rape, domestic violence. This is a 2-minute read. It's from 2 weeks ago. Find this on archive, that is. A Southern Norway's crown princess has been charged with 32 offenses, including 4 rapes and several acts of violence and assault, a prosecutor said on Monday. Marius Borg Holby, who was born from a relationship before Crown Princess Mette Maritz married Crown Prince Haakon, has been under investigation since his arrest in August late last year on suspicion of assaulting a girlfriend. In addition to 4 counts of rape, the charges include domestic abuse against a former partner and several counts of violence, disturbing the peace, vandalism, and violation of restraining orders against another former partner. He was also charged with filming the genitals of a number of women without the knowledge or consent. Public prosecutor Sturla Henrik Sobel told reporters. The maximum penalty for the offenses listed in the indictment is imprisonment of up to 10 years, he said. These are very serious acts that can leave lasting scars and destroy lives, the prosecutor said. The fact that Marius Borg Holby is a member of the royal family should of course not mean that he should be treated more lightly or severely than if similar acts have been committed by others, Henrik Sobel said. Holby denied the most serious charges against him, but he plans to plead guilty to some lesser charges, his lawyer Peter Sekula told the Reuters news agency. He's not agree with the claims regarding rape and domestic violence, Sekula told Reuters. The 4 rapes for which Holby is charged allegedly took place in 2018, 2013, and 2024, the last one that the police investigation began. Holby has already admitted to assault and vandalism in the August 24 incident for which she was arrested. It's up to the courts to hear this case and to reach a decision, the Royal Pal said in a statement obtained by Reuters. In a public statement 10 days after the arrest, he said he had acted under the influence of alcohol and cocaine after an argument, having suffered from mental troubles and struggling for a long time with substance abuse. I mean, that's not really a good reason. It's kind of like a beta male behavior. You know, mental health issue, doing cocaine, being an alcoholic. I mean, that's not really good male behavior. They should have disowned him from the royal family. Holby was propelled into the spotlight at the age of 4 when his mother married the Noyes Crown Prince, with whom she went on to have 2 more children. He was raised by a royal couple alongside his step-siblings Princess Ingrid Alexandra and Prince Xavier Magnus, aged 21 and 19. Unlike them, he has no official public role. Yeah, so they need to disown him and let him rot in jail for like his bad behavior. Again, that's beta male behavior, assaulting women, being a jackass, if like douchebag behavior. Oh. I wonder what the new Warframe you do for like the spiral is. Eye Weaver circuit. Oh yeah, I think I have Loki. Okay. I guess I have to wait till it reaches 100% to repair. So it's only 30% now.
Passion is what drives me. Not just some desire for success.
Oh, okay. I guess we could try this one.
Let me find out how much I need.
It's always funny how Reuters like stays like together as a business organization, like talking about the news, but they have such small articles. Oh man. Can I even survive by myself? Okay, I guess I could do it.
Diagnosis. Spore contamination. Treatment. Hell scrubber.
Side effects may include release of deadly spores, homicidal filter buildup, and small disease trying to kill you for messing with their stuff. Some Scaldra have been issued Spore X charges. Little bursts of filtration. Keep an eye out. They might save a life. You know how mold can grow on your water filter if you don't clean it enough? Well, shoot any buildup off the hell scrubbers unless you want to get unsubscribed from life. Knock the pus sacks off that scrubber before they sprout ahead. Scrubber going critical. Fix it or lose it to the tech rock, which will be the least of your problems.
Oh, come on, bro.
My code is working.
Don't
Hell Scrubbers
revive
prime,
me, buddy.
tech
Don't
rock
revive me.
regurgitating. Watch out for Scaldra. They want those scrubbers back to protect their own
I
bases.
can't even tell what working you have. Jesus, they usually have like more people joining. Definitely more people joining.
Contamination is off the charts. You need to hustle.
Yeah, we do. Okay, we need to go. Why are you fighting the
We became a
duelist?
group because we have love for music.
4 count is approaching terminally unfun levels. Activate another health scrubber. Code. And success. Keep your eyes out for another health scrubber. Months subsumed by tech rock, those health scrubbers still work. Who'da thunk it? I warned you. I totally warned you. And now it wants to have a conversation.
Two more minutes, and it's going to stay longer.
Sorry, online's not looking for a 6th member.
Oh, man. Come on, come on. Good crossbow bolts. They got RPG. Yes, yes, get the RPG. Get it, get it, get it. What are you getting extra for? What is it?
Scaldra is distracted. I'm taking the opportunity to make some new acquisitions.
Who they got?
Like
Kuva?
this. Don't worry, I'll share. Extraction is ready. I can't ask you to fight
1500 Kuva. Yeah, let's go.
But if you wanted to fight longer, I
Trojan
wouldn't say
tracker. Okay. Sneaky viruses. I'm guessing we're back in. Okay. bag this shit. Like some Resident Evil shit, bro. I got another Paisan mod, I don't know what that is. It's like a stealth thing. I need tech rot safe. I don't know how to get a bio code. I'm gonna need to get there. Why y'all just tagging random crap, bro? Okay, you tagged the new Riven shard, that's good. Now I know where I'm going, I think. Let's hope this guy's really good at the game. That reminds me of Syriax and stuff. Let's go, brother. Let's go. Dun 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 dun.
The dust light Saracenia grows west
Oh,
in
okay,
absolute
okay,
filth.
okay.
I mean, 100% pollution, poisonous air, and water. Really,
31
what kind of
minutes.
plant thrives in those
I can
conditions?
finish this freaking quest.
Lovely name, though.
You can find this on an archive that is Reuters. From 50 billion to bust, investors count costs in Evergrande's fall. August 22nd, 2025, doesn't say who the author is. China Evergrande Group, for the most part, lived true to its name. It was once the country's premier developer. Its listing in Hong Kong in 2009 was the biggest by a Chinese private developer and the largest pile of debt in the property sector globally. For instance, Maguire reports. Well, and that's it. Such a small article. Guess that's how Reader gets by, just tiny articles. If that's the Reader's way, that's the Reader's way. And I guess there are no banner ads and side loading ads.
I saw this thing on Telegram where like Tim Pool was raging about how they need to like put like who's receiving money on Twitter. It's like I'm sure you receive money for your Twitter posts, like you receive money for YouTube and Rumble. Like I don't know what you're getting at, my dude. Acting kind of goofy. It's not looking good, bro. Let's find out my little malware repair. Okay, I got 35%. Keep clean. Z W. I get gain 10% disinfection, 25% drop potency mod. So this is 2 potency. Gains 5,000 infinity. And okay. Eliminating sneaker virus since that's 1989. Okay. That's good. I need to delete the attic. Oh, I need to use Paris Prime, yeah. Wait, let me see if my secondary is my melee weapons maxed out. The glaive is maxed out. So I've used everything so far that I have. Okay, so I'll just get the Zorus. I don't know what this is. Probably encounter Paratenocyte. Let's do this one. I hope I can find a squad. Okay, maybe I have to.
Plotting route.
Bro.
Plotting route.
Oh man.
The notice. I kind of like the notice. It's like it's the publication like Australia, like the really like high testosterone Australians are like, you know, trying to claw back their history. It kind of makes me cringe if you're like the Aboriginals or original Australians, and like when you look at them, they're just sitting and sleeping in the road like they're bums. So that's not really a sign of strength or history or lore or anything good about your people sleeping in the streets or on the highway. It's not like a good high tea thing to do. When I see people making Twitter posts claiming they're like, oh, we need more Muslims in America, it's like, oh yeah, like that did wonders for like Britain and France and Sweden. Again, what a beta male take. You gotta watch out for these beta males and their old bad like takes. Tim Pool's been having bad takes since he made his YouTube channel. What the heck is a mood crystal? That was not like a Y2K thing. That was like a.
You're halfway. More up ahead. And it looks like it's gonna be the big guns.
The big guns. Can we get miniguns? That's cool. Warframe winning miniguns. I'm doing like 6 damage. But who is Hibiki? That shows he's bleeding out. I don't see him. You need Chica. Oh, you got some of these guys over here. Okay, so you're all the way over there. I'm trying like to climb over the freaking wall.
It's okay. We'll make do.
Okay. No, I'm kind of lost, I guess. Okay, I have to go this way, that's why. I don't want to use the RPG, bro. Come on. You really have to go all the way this way just to find these cats. No, I want to use the RPG, brother. I don't even get to use the RPG.
That's the last of them.
Okay,
Time to come home.
That's it. But am I being kicked? Yeah, it must be. No, my internet's just crapping out of me. I'm hearing things, but I don't see anything. But Hibiki, where are you? I think I'll just... Is he dead? Where is he? So no one in online games ever wants that like comms or something. There's even text effects. Bro, am I lagging? Yeah, I must be lagging like hard to like infinity and beyond. I pick up the thing, the RPG. So I got like 11k haulers, and I need that for like, you know, getting my... Yeah, I have the Zorus equipped, so like... Someone must have bad connections, because I was able like to move around and shit. Okay. I definitely have that thing equipped.
The ingredients you seek will not be easy to come by.
Please!
They grow in
You're
some
like
of the system's most hostile
talking,
environments. You can see why we
22
turn
minutes.
to you for help.
Do I not have Zorus equipped? I had Zorus. Yeah, I had it equipped. Okay. Okay, this is the Washington Post. Philadelphia transit hits death spiral. More cities could follow. Oh. This is actually MSN, but I guess they're like sourcing it from Washington Post. This is a story by Tim Craig, 1 week ago, 6-minute read, and you can find this in our archive that today. Philadelphia, James Kapow was clutching his senior citizen fare card for the city's vast network of buses, subways, and light rail trains when he heard the announcement this week over the intercom at the 69th Street Transit Center. Due to a lack of funding, reduced service on all metro lines beginning August 24th, the announcement said. Kapow, a 71-year-old diabetic, had taken 2 buses to buy a bag of bananas at Okra while visiting markets in southwest Philadelphia. The Southeastern Pennsylvania Transport Authority system, he said, was his lifeline for buying food, traveling to his doctor's appointments, and visiting his family. Everything I do revolves around SEPTA, said Kapow, who had a stroke 3 years ago and is unable to drive. It's a lifesaver, and they cut it, I'm stuck. I'll be virtually in prison. Across Pennsylvania and suburbs, a region of more than 6 million residents, commuters are bracing for a dramatic reduction in public transportation after the state lawmakers were unable to agree on how to fund the struggling system. Well, you fund it by taxes and having good businesses to get taxes from. Obviously, Philadelphia is kind of a failed commie state. SEPTA officials have called it a death spiral. The changes to one of the nation's largest managed transit agencies are expected to hit the poor, elderly, and daily commuters the hardest. Many will have to start their commutes early and arrive home later. But since the pandemic ridership for big city transit systems, officials and transit experts have been raising questions about the sustainability of public transportation that millions of Americans rely on each day. They have warned of fiscal cliffs in which transit systems start cutting services, potentially reducing ridership in ways that necessitates even deeper service cuts. Transit agencies in Chicago, Dallas, Portland, San Francisco all face similar challenges. Again, these are all commie states. California, Texas, Portland, Oregon. I mean, the whole state isn't commie, but like, you know, a good portion of it is. Chicago. SEPTA, which serves about 800,000 riders daily, will curtail service on all bus and rail lines by 20%, as well as eliminate 32 bus routes on Sunday. The changes are expected to make buses and trains slower and more crowded, as well as present new complications for 55,000 Philadelphia students who start school on Monday. A cut this size for us is unprecedented, said Angie Bush, Director of Media Relations for the transit system. We have never instituted a cut like this, so we know there are going to be unintended consequences. The 31st route, one of the bus lines that will be eliminated Sunday, serves 4,100 riders daily. At the end of the line in the Overbrook Park neighborhood on Thursday, Michael Thompson, 25, was waiting for the bus after he finished his job working at TJ Maxx. He said he doesn't know how he can keep his job without the bus. I have kids to feed, so this is all just messed up. Thompson said, I may have to look for another job because I can't afford Uber and Lyft to come up here.
The cuts this month are just a preview of even more painful reductions in January as Pennsylvania's legislature acts soon to help SEPTA close a $231 million budget shortfall. The transit agency will raise fares by about 22% on September 1st and reduce service by another 25% in January. It will also eliminate five commuter rail lines that service the suburbs as well as Delaware and New Jersey. Philip Plotch, a senior fellow at the Eno Center for Transportation, a nonpartisan think tank, compared the challenges facing Philadelphia and other transit systems to apply to shopping malls. In a shopping mall, if Macy's leaves and then maybe the Gap leaves, then fewer people are going to go to the shopping mall, Plotch said, and then more places leave until you have a dead shopping mall. Jared Walker, a consultant on transit planning and policy, said mass transit systems nationwide are suffering from the drop in ridership after the pandemic, as well as soaring labor costs as personnel, including bus drivers, become harder to retain higher. Many of those workers are finding less stressful jobs working for companies such as Amazon, Walker said. Transit agencies can no longer rely on the billions of dollars of aid they received during the pandemic from the federal government. Philadelphia received $1.5 billion in federal funds, which were spent by June 2024. On what? That's obviously corruption. Now, that was supposed to be for like the trains, the buses, upgrading, modernizing, but you're probably wasting on other stuff. Meanwhile, fare revenue has climbed back to just 80% of pre-pandemic levels. Bush said SEPTA has also swelled its operating costs by adding about 50 new transit police officers to combat a pandemic-era surge in crime on the system. Fuel and maintenance costs for buses and trains has also increased. It's kind of a perfect storm of sorts of all those costs going up. Ridership still recovering, the COVID funds running out, Bush said. SEPTA's plan for slashing its service resembles a recent debate in the Washington region. Faced at the time with a $750 million funding gap, the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority announced plans in 2023 to dramatically reduce rail and bus service. The proposals rattled leaders in the district, Maryland and Virginia, who agreed to a $5.6 billion funding plan for WMACA over the next 2 decades, but the three jurisdictions still have to come up with the funding. Leaders of the Chicago's Transit Authority are also warning they may need to slash services by up to 40% unless Illinois lawmakers resolve a $771 million shortfall. It's a significant crisis. That is not just going to affect the traveling public. It's a big industry, and there is a lot of jobs at stake, said P.S.I. Saraji, director of the Urban Transportation Center at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Transit affects the economic impact of the region, including property values, and it alleviates congestion. In Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro and other Democrat leaders have been pressing to avoid the budget cuts by passing a comprehensive funding bill that benefits SEPTA, as well as Pittsburgh's mass transit agency, which has faced a $100 million deficit. But Pennsylvania state Republicans, most of whom represent rural districts, have raised questions about the efficiency of SEPTA, with one GOP lawmaker suggesting that the $2.6 billion agency should be privatized. Under growing pressure, the state Senate approved a bill last week that would have shifted money from the state's construction budget to help shore operations of transit agencies, as well as provide new funding for roads and bridges. Senate Majority Leader Joe Pittman said the legislation provided substantial funding for transportation investment by utilizing existing and unused taxpayer dollars. House Democrats swiftly rejected the GOP proposal, saying it is irresponsible to use construction money for operating costs. They are literally robbing Peter to pay Paul, said Jordan Harris D., the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, in an interview. Senate Republicans have now joined until September 8th. State Senator Nicole Saville D., who represents Center City and Southwestern and Philadelphia, and other local leaders say the cuts threaten Philadelphia's status as a premier U.S. city that can host major events, including 6 World Cup matches next summer. The service reductions that start Sunday include the elimination of special express trains to take fans to the stadium while the Eagles football team and Phillies baseball team play. Philadelphia is in Philadelphia without mass transit, Harris said. At the 31st bus stop in Overbrook, commuters talked in more intimate terms. Their lives, they said, usually do revolve around that bus. Lacinia Riley, 59, said she took the 31st every day to her side job of pushing shopping carts in Aldi parking lot for tips. I know you make tips doing that. Riley, who said she suffers from a mental health disability, makes enough money in quarters and dollars to afford these cigarettes and sodas to help her relax. But, I mean, that's not going to help you with your mental health. I mean, at almost 60. Cigarettes and sodas, I mean, that's probably going to affect you way worse mentally and physically. This is going to change my life, Riley said, with the discontinuation of the bus line. I won't be able to earn extra money. As home healthcare technician, Darian Myers, 32, waited for the bus. He wondered how he would get to his appointments. He questioned how he could afford $30 Uber rides on his $12 an hour salary. I'll end up spending more money than I get paid, Mara said. Rachel Warner contributed to this report. Again, it's another sign of like lazy economy, states not knowing how to use their funding properly. Again, we're too focused on this whole World Cup, football, baseball. I mean, we need to take the money funding the stadiums, put it toward, the buses, the trains, the airplanes. I mean, Trump claims, drill baby drill, but most states don't, have oil rigs. That's usually like, the Gulf, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas. Most of the other states are kind of like, just pilfering the money that, the southern states make off oil. They don't even have that. Though Philly's more known for having, like manufacturing and stuff. Again, like, states shouldn't be known for having football stadium. That's kind of like a net negative. I'm pretty sure merch makes more money than the actual football game itself. Because, come on, we're paying the football players millions of dollars. And the people who own the stadiums, which is like, subsidized by a taxpayer. Which means that the tickets themselves should be cheaper and stuff. Like, I remember in high school, we got tickets discounted because we went to the high school, but, like, at the end of the day, there shouldn't have been a discount. I mean, you're going there. It's, like, funded by, like, taxes. I mean, your tickets should be free. And my local high school isn't that far from my house. Again, it's just, like, government corruption and government laziness and stuff, and then government gossip here. I mean, his house was firebombed earlier this year for him being a Zionist. I mean, it's probably why the trains aren't funded, because he's spending too much taxpayer dollars to Israel and the IEF. Who do you think? They have to stop going to all these, like, fundraisers for Israel or fundraisers for communism. Like, a lot of people claim we beat communism in the 60s. No, we embraced it. Again, football is communism. It's a bunch of these millionaires doing all this, like, chauvinism, losing games. Oh, look, this football team wins. Yay, yay, yay. Yeah, it's entertainment. It's like Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay's not going to invite you to an actual dinner with his family and kids and stuff at his table. No, it's called entertainment. It's called, like, bread and circuses. Like, if you're not making money, like, illegally streaming football matches, you gotta, like, be making money, like, on the side selling the merch. The merch is where the money comes in. Daisy's gonna make money, like, off, like, the streaming revenue. You're not. Again, like, a lot of these cities in America are, like, messed up because of commie leadership. Governor Josh Shapiro. The people running Louisiana and stuff. The causeway should have been finished decades ago. There should be, like, multiple forms of it running from New Orleans to, Mandeville to St. Tammany. Yeah, we got commies. Too many commies. From 2015 to 2025, a lot of these, Democrats and, like, rhinos should have been primary out. But we keep focusing on, like, a lot of, modernize the military. It's like, what do you think all those ICBMs post-World War II, all those, big bombs, all those thousands of nukes, that's called modernizing the military. Now we don't. This is a Mass Effect and Halo when we, like, 4.5 million to 20 million, soldiers, like, at the ready. Our military should be, like, 500k to, like, 2 million at best. I mean, we've had decades since World War II to have at least, like, 12, like, existing fleets of, like, submarines, aircraft carriers. It's not my fault people want to be cheap and stuff. The causeway should be made out of titanium, but you look at it, it's just made out of just, like, simple rebar and concrete. That could fall one day, like, we even got bridges in Louisiana, you look at them, you drive over them, like, straight up rust. And then they take the randomest times, like, we're getting a new lane in St. Tammany. What's taking these guys? Because they're hiring, like, the usual suspects from South America. They should be hiring locally, hiring good wages and stuff. Should be doing it from, like, 10 p.m. to dawn, then you quit. Should be an 8-hour, maybe a 12-hour shift at best.
It's like a lot of companies need to realize, bro, instead of maximizing profits, get the job done and make sure, it's durable, lasting for like, 30 to 50 years. Like, when I hear States America say, like, oh, like, the World Series are hosted here, it's like, that's not really, like a good, like, selling point for me to move there. I mean, the hot dog vendor's not making that much money, bro. I literally had one of my coworkers spurring out at me. He's like, oh, you're not going to support LSU. I was like, what is LSU doing for me? It's not doing anything. Nobody that goes to LSU is, like, a college, whatever. If you're going for a vet tag, you're going for, like, some, like, science thing to actually help the country. You're not getting anything from the actual football team to help you. None of that money is helping you. Even for the players that got paid, that wasn't helping you. Again, it's like when people speak about China, it's like, India has a growing population, Africa has a growing population and stuff, and it's like, I mean, we got people have been dying in Gaza since post-World War II and stuff. We're on like the second or third Nakba, and like we keep, more bombs for Israel, more bombs for Ukraine. It's that commie ideology. I mean, how we still have Sargon claiming, I'm a centrist. I'm like, no, buddy, no. Having Tommy Robinson, who's like Mossad, super spy or corny intel on your show is kind of an L beta take. Tim Pool still being a centrist, 9 years after starting a YouTube channel and had like, 2 million subscribers, making a crap ton of money, memberships, ad revenue in Rumble. It's like, I'm one of the top guys in Rumble. It's like, yeah, your stuff's autoplayed. You can get like a good bit of views passively on like Odyssey or YouTube autoplaying and stuff. But that's one of the good things that YouTube has that Rumble don't. Like, you have the YouTube Red, yeah, it takes ad revenue from you, but like, I can also put it like on that thing in the settings and autoplay it and stuff. And I could like, press the button on my side of the phone, my screen like, will be up, and my phone's still, the battery's still on, I could listen to something. I do it with Odyssey, and I go off the app and stuff. Thing just won't work. I mean, I don't know if you can like log onto the website on like your laptop or desktop, sign into Odyssey or Rumble. You can just like, close your laptop while it's still be playing, or if like, well, it won't work. That's the cool thing about YouTube and stuff. No, like the autoplay feature and stuff, and how like you can be on the app, you can tap out the app, still playing. Could be a stream, could be a football match, could be anything. Okay, this is Zero Hedge. Illegal alien arrested with arsenal weapons, ammunition, and cocaine by Tal Durden. Friday, September 5th, 2025. I can't see it. I think that's 12:30 a.m. Yeah, you can find this on archive.today. The optics for the Democratic Party are not great at the moment. Whether it's vehemently rejecting President Trump's mission to restore law and order in crime-ridden progressive cities, or imposing the deportation of criminal legal aliens, the party of confused rebels, still unable to find what a woman is, bankrolled by rogue leftist billionaires and propped up by dark money NGOs, is firmly branding itself as a party of American last. If Democrats had to wear, no legal alien would ever be deported. That's because these third worlders are seen as the party's future voting base to seize more political power. For a glimpse into exactly who these individuals are, look no further than a shocking new report out of Charleston, South Carolina. Local outlet WCBD reported earlier this week that deputies with the Dorchester County Sheriff's Office pulled over Jacqueline Lopez Rubio for speeding. Deputies say Lopez Rubio is in the county illegally, and what they found in his vehicle was shocking. Here's more from the local station. Lopez Rubio was detained for reckless driving and operating a vehicle without a valid license. Yeah, reckless driving, like speeding, 80 in a 15, 80 in the speed zone, not having my license, not having my registration, license registration, not even having a... Yeah, we have to have some kind of a tag in our car in Louisiana. That's like losing the exclusive thing. Not having a license plate, that'd be fines of probably like 800 to 1,000, but like since he's illegal immigrant, they're putting the gloves on him. For me, they'd probably spend time in jail, I'd probably have fines, that'd probably be time I'd have to, I could pay the money, but it's still money I don't want to pay. That's why I have like the tag on my car, I have my license up to date, my driver's license, my registration, my license plate, all that.
It was also determined that he was a Mexican national in the United States illegally, going to a sheriff's office. During a search of Lopez Rubia's vehicle, deputies and troopers found 3 plastic bags with 8.6 gross grams of cocaine, 10 firearms, and multiple magazines with various rounds of ammunition. How does the illegal pick fruit on farms and clean dishes at restaurants with these tools? They don't.
I mean, he was probably going to sell cocaine, and if he was part of a gang or cartel, one's loosely, for loose leadership, one's, unified. But if it's part of our cartel, and if we don't know that, but the feds probably do, that's what the guns are for, to shoot people.
Dapper detective knew illegal alien from Mexico arrested in South Carolina with illegal arsenal weapons, AR-15s, AK-47, and a ton of ammunition, and Democrats told us they were here to pick fruit. Democrats are losing the plot. Americans are waking up and fed up with the globalist regime and the previous administration to flood the nation with millions of illegals. Now some of these criminal illegals are heavily armed. That was a short article by Zero Hedge. Very short. Again, so all these lefties, rhinos, tricoms, pro-India, pro-China, pro-anything that's not American, we gotta get them all out. They gotta be in jail. Your loyalty should be to the United States of America. The only people that should be in the government position and military should be Europeans.
I remember being in the military. I thought it was funny that we did like a lot of South Americans being drill sergeants, but hey, guess then you get to go shoot at Islamists and stuff. Who would have thunk it, huh? I mean, it's no one ever claims that oh, we won Vietnam, we won Korea. It's no, we tactically retreated after getting thousands of casualties. This wasn't a war even World War I and World War II weren't actually world wars. We went to Europe, we killed our Christian European brothers and sisters, all for what? Because some warlord got assassinated in World War I. Then an Austrian guy rose to challenge communism by the Bolsheviks, by the small tribe. It's no, we didn't have to go there. Churchill was being a kind of power hungry, devil. Now when you see these devils clamoring for war, that's when you start putting them in jail. That's when you start putting them in Supermax prison. That's when you start silencing them. When people called for war in Iraq or invading Afghanistan, that's should have been some Supermax 60-year plus fines. Anyone in the family that was on social media, the local newspaper, the radios, should have been fines. No, that's how you do it. Then when you have people spurring out, it's oh, we need to defend the international waters. No, we have 50 states and some territories. Our ship should be in here in the harbor, ready to defend in case and when, if and when it happens. I mean, hell, the attacking of Hawaii in World War II was a false flag. Japan didn't have some Stargate, Star Trek, Halo, fascinating tech. We knew it was coming, and we just didn't do anything and tell anyone. That's what a false flag is. I mean, you got a lot of bums in this country will say this is a great country. It's yeah, it's great depending if you have the money to survive, or you're just trying to work 6 to 8 hours a week. I'm in this Discord server. Dude's going to school for anesthesia, be a anesthesia specialist. The guy that puts that stuff in you, that syringe, so you gotta be really smart. Probably go the nursing school or something. No, that's the stuff operations and stuff. In case you get your teeth worked on, you gotta be put to sleep temporarily. You gotta be really smart. You make a lot of money doing that. He talks about how he's investing his money. He's doing DoorDash and all this stuff. He's making pretty decent money.
There is a large platoon.
I've been seeing out of my security job, a lot of people, black, white, all kinds of people be doing that stuff. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Spark Delivery. And this isn't the 60s and stuff when people say oh, this is a good country. It's yeah, it's a good country if you're working in corporate, but You know, like, the more people that come, and the more people that aren't making jobs and aren't making this into a good country, it's, you know... Like, most people aren't coming here to make this country better. I mean, this country's pretty much made of, like, toothpicks and, like, straw and shit. And it might be, like, a massive exaggeration. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, countries shouldn't work like corporations. Well, no, they shouldn't work to where, like, corporations can make, like, billions and billions of dollars and then you get fired because, like, oh, you know, they couldn't buy their next yacht or some shit. And the fact that CEOs and people in, like, you know, the corporate infrastructure can just use their stock options, and the next thing you know, oh, they made your money, but now you're out of a job because they want to be, like, extra lazy. I mean, your job is to make the company more money and, like, that. Help the employees be, like, do better and stuff. But if you're not encouraging, motivating them, like, that's not gonna make them want to do anything. I mean, Griffin Gaming was talking about, it's like, oh, if you're just doing the bare minimum, it's like, but if you worked at any company besides cybersecurity, I mean, you can put your all into a company. That doesn't mean you're gonna be, like, running it. Like, that doesn't. I mean, hell, Warframe is a good game. I like it. But you hear every year or so, they're like, oh no, there's forums that, like, Ubisoft, there's forums for this company. It's like, yeah, like, let's say this company does do, like, record profits. How many people are actually, like, making, like, the company, like, better and stuff? Okay, that's two. Yeah, I like Teenage Mutant Ninja as a kid. I mean, like this stuff. I mean, sometimes they have aliens, but even if there's like not an episode focused on Shredder, or Brain, then they'll talking like Brain or General Crane. It's kind of funny and stuff. Of like Shredder and them always trying like they take out the turtles, and Crane's like, hey, you know, like how we not focus on like the turtles and stuff. Shredder's like, no, I must have my revenge, my vengeance, like. And then they'll like do some like fourfold break-ins, like, oh, you know, like we're looking for like the. I don't even know how the And then they'll say like, oh, we're doing this for the viewers. Oh, I thought you said restaurant.
Broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission.
I think I need two
Find
more.
extraction.
So I should be good. I hope so. I do not want to do this shit again. This shit's so annoying. I mean, it's not good that it's not bad that aim for higher profits and stuff for your company, but like, you know, Elon Musk is on his way to be potentially getting billions and millions from Tesla if they hit like certain goals. And like, yeah, like again, that's good for you as like the owner, or like one of the ones with like the most shares, but it's not helping again the employees. I feel like money should go to like one of two things, like, you know, helping you like start a family, you know, or a business and stuff. So like, you know, people can have like jobs. So I used to work at like one of the biggest security firms in the world, like because I wasn't like the owner, or, like the CEO, or like the board of directors. And unless I wasn't working 70 hours a week, I wasn't making that much money. I mean, it was like decent money for like where I live, but like it was still like decent, I guess. And Warframe is a game where you're always trying to craft like the next thing. I mean, you're trying to find stuff. I mean, finding stuff like this. I mean, how you even get the Zors from doing, I think, like a Warframe quest or something. And that leads into like side stories for other stuff. And the one I'm doing right now and stuff, it's like to make like a potion or something. I wonder how you, what Trinity Prime. Wait. Oh, wait. Trinity. Is that like a skin? I really tagged the Trinity, bro. Did you not get it? I said, people need to start like watching my streams and stuff. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it if I go there. So you're supposed to find the stuff with the Okay.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Fine. Hopefully this is the right thing I need. I mean, Warframe as a games as a service, so is Wuthering Waves, so is Girls Frontline. I mean, there was even like a Gundam mobile game. It's like when people are like, oh, we didn't get a Gundam game. It was like, we got a Gundam Breaker game 4. Before that, there was a new Gundam Breaker that was apparently really grindy. And then there's like the Maxi Boost game. And then there's like the ones you can emulate and stuff. Or they might have like the Japanese exclusive ones. It's not like Dragon Ball where we've been eating pretty good. 2 mobile games, you know, Legends and
The ingredients
Dragon Ball
you seek
Legends
will not
and
be easy to come by.
Legends
They
was like
grow in some of the
PvP,
system's most
PvE,
hostile
and then you had
environments.
Dokkan.
You can see why we
And then there's
turn
Fighter
to
Z,
you
which
for
has a
help.
story and was primarily like, you know, a fighting game. It's Universe 1 and 2. Oh, I can finally do this. Yes! Where is this shrine? Oh, I have to use this? Bruh, come on, bruh. Please, please. I have to get my loadout. Do I have an Arcwing launcher? Codec scanner. I don't know why that connects. Symphon, K drive, Omni.
Okay, this is the Jerusalem Post. Lieberman demands ban on a DNA test by rabbinical courts. The Israel Biatenu leader says he won't enter a coalition without a guarantee that a law banning DNA testing by the rabbinical courts will be passed. This is by Jeremy Sharon, May 14, 2019, 0216. Again, the Jerusalem Post, you can find an archive that is. Israel Biatenu leader Avigdor Lieberman brought the highly charged issue of DNA tests for Jewish status determination to the forefront on Monday, saying that he will not enter the government without a guarantee that a bill his party has submitted banning the practice will be passed. In March, Chief Rabbi David Lau acknowledged that DNA tests are sometimes used in small numbers of cases to help determine the Jewish status of individuals that the rabbinical court has not convinced are in fact Jewish. Rabbinical courts have required such tests in some 20 cases in recent months, all of which involve citizens from the former Soviet Union or their descendants, making the issue a political one for Israel Biatenu, which derives much of its support from this community. The tests are controversial since they cannot definitively prove Jewish status and can only serve as an aid in the status clarification process ordered by rabbinical courts for many citizens, especially from the former Soviet Union, who seek to marry through the chief rabbinate. Despite such tests being unable to refute Jewish status, some rabbinical courts have refused to register for marriage individuals who refuse to undergo such tests. If there is any infringement on human freedom and dignity, it is these humiliating DNA tests, whether for the purpose of the coercion of Judaism, divorce, and marriage, Lieberman said in the Israel Biatenu faction meeting on Monday. This is the biggest invasion of privacy there could be, and I'm not prepared for the rabbinical courts to use this for any purpose. He continued, adding that his party will not budge 1 millimeter from the wording of a bill it submitted last week on this issue. According to the office of MK Yulia Malinkovsky, who submitted the legislation, the bill would ban the rabbinical courts from using DNA tests for any purpose except in exceptionally rare cases. Even in such a case, approval of the test would be needed from the Attorney General in order for the rabbinical court to order it. A spokesman for Malinkovsky said that a law passed in 2008 had given the rabbinical courts the authority to order a DNA test to establish paternity in cases of family law, but the courts had unilaterally expanded its use of such tests for Jewish status concerns as well without legal authorization. Milankowski herself said the use of DNA tests to prove Jewish status was fundamentally different from the intention of the law passed in 2008 to establish paternity. When the test used by the rabbinical court is of mitochondrial DNA. The genetic material present in cellular body is called mitochondria, which is inherited exclusively from a person's mother. Genetic markers on this DNA can be traced back many generations to determine a person's maternal ancestors with a high degree of certainty. Since Jewish status is determined matrilineally, it can be used as proof that an individual is of Jewish ancestry. Excerpts in Jewish genealogy and history have suggested that 40% of all Ashkenazi Jews are descended from just 4 Jewish women who left the Middle East over 1,000 years ago and settled in Europe. There is therefore high certainty that someone with these markers is Jewish. These tests cannot be used to revoke Jewish status, however, since some 60% of Ashkenazi Jews are not descended from those 4 women. Oh wow. One of the banned DNA test, what a commie country. This is a recent one. Well, recent as in a few weeks ago. Let's all get all the tabs in my phone to at least 64. Find the shrine. I have it in my wheel. Hopefully I don't use this. Do this multiple times. I mean, the engine is worth me, just like, every now and then tweaking your build and stuff, getting all the warframes. I don't know how many master eggs people want to get. I mean, I know at one point it was like 20 something or 22 was like the highest master rank. So yeah, getting all the warframes, getting all the weapons, whether it's the newest warframes, the prime ones, doing steel pad, doing arbitrations. So yeah. And steel pad arbitrations, even in new areas, that's pretty much the end
Silver
game.
Grove. Can you feel the purity? Beyond, all is contaminated, toxic. But here, everything is pure, original. That's why your mission is so important. Can we risk losing this? Our shrine is nearby. Search around. I'll let you know when I can feel its energy. Silver Grove, forgive this warframe on your sacred soil, by water, by sky, by holy humanity. Bless our mission to defend you. No disrespect, Tenno, but I had to ask forgiveness from the Grove. Carrying out this mission with the warframe is a bit of a contradiction for us.
That's cool, it's a contradiction, but it's nice you could tell me if I'm going that right freaking right.
I mean, how much farther do I need to go in this normal map? I mean, you're supposed to tell me if I'm going the right way.
You're almost there. Look for a passageway.
That tells me nothing. What do you mean look for a passageway? How about you be more specific? Specific, I guess. Am I going the right way? Freaking ocean.
I can't sense the shrine any longer. You have moved too far away.
Freaking useless, you freaking NPC. You can't sense the shrine. Okay, so this is the area I don't want to be in. Like, I've been streaming for like 2 hours. Where am I going? Oh man, come on. You know when video games decide to do the whole mystic, like, oh, you know, puzzles. Puzzles. Okay, so I went too far. My comment section telling me if I'm like going the right way. Okay.
I think this is... Yes, you're very close now. Look for a small opening in the rocks.
A small opening? What the fuck does that mean? Why didn't you just tell me where it is? A small opening? Where? This is a small opening.
Can you feel it? You found the shrine. Anoint it with your apothec.
You did pretty much nothing. Freaking APC. That's what I'm wondering myself.
The sun in my skin. My voice is the wind. I'm lost in this soil. Why?
I don't know, you tell me.
Did you hear that? Unbelievable. The grove, it speaks.
So it's Space Guy,
My
cool.
heart, wait. A new apothec. We will learn its recipe, forage its ingredients.
No, come on,
the
bro.
grove needs this. New Loka needs this.
Come on, bro.
It's time to wait.
I had to grind for this.
Intruder! You should not be here!
We are pure and true. Forgive our intrusion. Will you accept our protection?
Oh my god.
The Silver Grove must be confused about our pure and holy intentions. This new object may hold the key to making it understand.
Yay, I can finally get the freaking extraction. Jesus. It's funny that Adams will play like, you know, subscription-based games where you won't ever play like Black Desert or like that Berserker game that I think China or Korea made. And then Griffin Gaming even talk about that Lost Souls game. Oh, it's Chinese slop. It's like, yeah, but most of the games China's been putting out for like the past while have been kind of like cheap.
Another job well executed.
You know, Max Payne when it came out when I was a kid. I need to make another one. Oh, I get Titanium systems. That's cool, I guess. I need to make another apothec thing. Come on, bruh.
How is it that a specter came to be in this most sacred shrine? Could this be a vestige of some earlier Orokin incursion?
Operator, the codex system just pulled another voice entry from that apothec. Allow Otis to display it for you.
My childhood dream has become a nightmare. I don't blame Margulis. She's as much a victim as the children we're working with. At first, the project seemed therapeutic and nurturing. I was myself. But now, transference therapy is being turned into a weapon. Now I build these vile weapons called warframes, all for one purpose. Death. I've become everything I hate. I long for the discomfort of my damp tent, the sick, aimless trees, the barren soil. I know I left my soul behind back there. Titania is the next warframe I've been commanded to build, but in secret, I've been siphoning resources from the project. I have an idea. A way back to that wounded land I call home. A way for me to forget this war and remember what I was.
Well, who is this doing the new recording? That'd be cool to meet them if they're not dead.
The Silver Grove is a pure and sacred force. Why would it be vandalized with such a message? Earth's oldest forest is populated with the first trees that evolved a resistance to the Orokin bondage. The rest of Earth is polluted with the monstrosities of their genetic tinkering. But these trees are pure. When we finally reseed Earth, it will be with these specimens.
The Silver Grove. In all the operator's missions on Earth, Ordis has not scanned an area quite so magical. Unique.
Ruck's Claw. We had one of these plants in our greenhouse once, but a new recruit overwatered it. We haven't found any since.
Man, this is so freaking annoying. Oh man.
Keep going. Nobody knows you're here.
That's nice. I don't know how I'm supposed to get more synthesis scans.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Moonlit jade leaf. Bruh, I don't have all day to play this game. I'm trying to get this shit. I mean, it might seem like you sometimes watch me like stream, I guess. That's 2 dragon moves. Got a Kubra egg, which is kind of cool, I guess. Bro, I know where the extraction is, bro. That's 4. Bruh.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
I got 4 dragon lords and I got 14 of the stretch cards. Yeah, I'm not playing this game all night. A few hours is good. I need 2 more dragon lilies and 4 more thrush cones. I guess I can do that again.
There is a large platoon of Grineer Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Oh, yeah. Can't leave them standing, I guess. I hope I don't have to do this again. This shit's annoying. Okay, let's see. I don't know where I could find it. Alright, I'm looking for this Moonlight Dragon Lilies, and no one's joining the game. Okay, finally we can go to the other area. Oh.
Broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
We're this one I wish I was like important enough on YouTube that people tell me where stuff is.
You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors.
And I hope so. Bruh, is it daytime already? I might need to do a capture one. Yes! Yes! Bruh. I thought I needed 4 more, right? Oh man, it's 228. I don't want to do it. Oh. Oh. Yes. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. Let's go on Reddit. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Whew.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Man, that's so annoying trying to find stuff. No viewers after 2 hours. Oh well. Finally. Oh, I need. Man, I need more sunlight thresh gun. Man. And I gotta wait more, and it's almost 11 p.m. Oh, it's 2 minutes. That's not bad.
The Telegraph. Hitler was bad to every Jew in the world, but he was good to me. Dominic Cavadas. Friday, August 22nd, 2025 at 5 a.m. UTC. 12-minute read. You can find this on Archive that is. Mel Brooks has been amusing people for almost a century. He reckons the left started almost as soon as he could burble. I think I was entertained even as an old baby. I knew I was funny. I knew it was funny because I was seeing these faces staring down at the crowd bursting into laughter. I must have been funny looking, and that's good for comedy, a funny face. He officially started gaining attention as one of the funniest men in America, and in the early 1960s by improvising a character as the absurdly long-lived 2,000-year-old man, with Carl Reiner as his deadpan foil. Spouting entertainment hooey, he reminisced about every event on the sun, from the Donna Man, the Spook Rock, the Jesus Christ, this lad right, or Thanos hung around with 12 other guys. In June, Brooks turned 99. The irony of his longevity doesn't escape him. It's funny he muses at home in Santa Monica, California. It looks like I'm on the way. There. It's no strange. Might I actually live 2,000 years? I don't know. I doubt it, but you never know. He doesn't gloss over the challenges of old age. When you reach for something you don't quite grasp it, when you reach for something and don't quite grasp it, you know you're 99. It's totally marvelous. Whatever it is that's looking after me, I'm grateful for it. Given his age, I expected Brooks to sound on a more wistful note than he did when we met in 2017, ahead of the West End premiere of his musical version of Young Frankenstein, one of the two parody masterpieces he gave the world. His filmmaking Anus Mirabilis of 1974, the other being his inspired spoof, Western Blazing Saddles. With as lot as his responses sound like wisecracks and one-liners, his mental acuity rings sharp. People are amazed that I still talk fast and I think fast. I also expect him to be doing nothing much in particular, but he's up and about in the middle of the night because it means he can keep on creating. I love working. I like writing late into the night because there are no telephone calls, nobody bothers me. I'm all alone with my characters and thoughts, and I'm happy. His beloved second wife, the actress Anne Bancroft, died 20 years ago, and he stayed single. I don't think I've ever been busier than I am now, he continues in all seriousness, as well as keeping an eye on a TV prequel of Young Frankenstein called Yes, Very Young Frankenstein. He's involved with the big sequel to his 1987 Star Wars spoof, Spaceballs 2. It's probably when he was young and good looking. I can't give away the plot or story, but I can tell you that Rick Moranis doesn't look any older than he looked when he was Dark Helmet mocked Darth Vader the first time. He's just so funny. I'm going to be playing Yogurt, the spoof Yoda. I never looked like him in real life, so I don't look like Yogurt once again. But I thank God my voice is okay, so I can do it. They ran a good script, and I just punch it up to make sure that it's funny. Perhaps it's being wired to see a funny side that has enabled his staying power. As soon as he gets on the phone, he's teasing me. Did you make up that name? Cavendish. That's such a perfect English name. He gleans that my Polish refugee father did indeed change his surname and declares, well, he overdid it. It's a bit much. You sound like a regular person. You don't sound like Alec Guinness. Brooks was actually born in Melvin Kaminsky to a German Jewish father and a Ukrainian Jewish mother in 1926. At 14, he adopted his mother's maiden name of Brookman in order to make himself more marketable as a drummer forged a path in show business, swiftly contracting the Brooks to fit on the kit. Films will never be as thrilling as the stage. The name change was a smart move. It became a brand associated with some of the funniest American films in the canon, and a byword for a take no prisoners form an exuberant, chutzpah-filled comedy. Besides his line in big screen parodies, among them Silent Movie, the Hitchcock spoof, High Anxiety, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, there was this breakthrough masterpiece that produces a portrait on Broadway at its most lunatically scheming, which arrived in 1967, winning him a Best Screenplay Oscar and returned in 2001 as a hit Broadway musical, scooping a record 12 Tony Awards. Its expired conceit and sent by old-time producer Max Bialystock at the inadvertent suggestion of his dweeb accountant Leo Bloom to swindle investors by raising money for a surefire flop. The ruse backfires when Springtime for Hitler, in all singing, all dancing homage to the Führer, crafted to be box office poison, proves a smash. The musical version of The Producers is back in the West End, with Andy Nyman and Mark Antolin as Bialystock and Bloom, roles brought to life on screen by Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder in a revival directed by Patrick Marber, first seen last year at the Meniere. I didn't know Gene Wilder was still alive. Brooks has particular affection for the musical version, which marked a big full circle moment, given that he was inspired to go into show business and avoid the common local tradition into the garment trade by seeing Anything Goes on Broadway at the age of 9. Films are very good. They are important, but they'll never be as thrilling as a stage. Every moment on stage counts. The whole aspect of it being live is thrilling. Movies are great, but they are not thrilling. The success of the Broadway show caught the attention of fellow musical theater legends. Wes Soundhelm, envious? No, in fact, he slapped me in the back once when I was leaving Orso, a restaurant on West 46th Street, and congratulated me on rhyming well aware with Delaware. Fantastical as it sounds, it promises rooting in real life. In his teens, Brooks gophered for a broader producer called Benjamin Kutcher. He wasn't a crook, but most of his angels investors were little ladies, and they called him Benny or Benji. If I heard them going, "Oh Benji, Benji," I knew not to come in. But there are also a couple of nameless producers on Broadway who'd raised more money than they needed to. So the premise of being able to make more money off a flop than you can off a hit tugged away in my memory. People in the street wasn't supporting Hitler. The film's outrageous mock, Busby, Berkeley springtime extravaganza featuring goose steps, a go-go, and rotating swastika of fast-stepping Nazis. Lavishly recreated on stage means the producers can still send jaws dropping. But inevitably over the years, the outrage factor has faded. A mere 20 years after the end of the war, getting it to the screen entailed a battle. I took a rough draft of the movie between Universal, and the guys there said it's very funny, but you have to admit, Mel, it's really offensive. We will do it if you change it to springtime from Mussolini because he wasn't as bad as Hitler. I said, I think you missed the point. The producer, Sidney Glazier, who spewed his coffee laughing so hard his books outlined it, made it happen. Even so, while Peter Sellers took out an advert in the industry magazine Variety claiming its genius, it had its detractors. Brooks got letters and complaints, many from rabbis. I answered every one, explaining that you can't get on a soapbox against dictators. They're orators. But if you make fun of them, you win. In the end, people understood I wasn't supporting Hitler. Besides, he could always remind people that he had fought in the war, as his 3 older brothers as a combat engineer, advancing into war-torn Europe in early 1945. I struggled hating him so much, and I struggled making him popular, and I said, what am I doing, making the guy funny? But it worked. He was bad to every Jew in the world, but he was good to me. The late great Alan Yintob, a very dear friend, said he had saw it at cinema in Golders Green, a Jewish neighborhood, and he said half the audience booed and half the audience cheered. Today, Brooks maintains clear boundaries at what's fair game for comedy. The one thing that's sure is there's no comedy with the concentration camps, but everything else is good for the genre. Is good for the Gonder. If Brooks had done nothing else besides the producers, his reputation would be assured. Its mainstream popularity a testament to its game-changing taboo-busting. It encapsulates his philosophy that too much is never too much. I'm proud of taking the mick out of Hitler. I think as far as comedy in general is concerned, you got to go to the limit. You can't take it easy. You got to go full bore. And in that lies its art. He confesses it's not taken seriously enough. The Academy Awards are loath to give it to a funny movie. Thank God Woody Allen won it for Annie Hall. But very few comedies get an Oscar. I think they think it's frivolous. In his 2020 memoir, he wrote, "Comedy has the most to say about the human condition." I really do think that he confirms. I think it's comedy that tells us more about who we are than tragedy. Prudish censors anger me. That belief in boundary pushing, allied to the Joey de Vere of his approach, runs counter to today's sensitive and censorious cultural climate. If people are afraid that you've gone too far back in the day, that reproving reflex is omnipresent now. There's a lot more negative comment than there used to be. It's too critical, it's only make-believe, give us a break. He strikes a relatively sanguine note about Hollywood and the woke era. Even so, Hollywood is forever saying something new. It's never been good, but it's not bad. Still, he allows ire to peep through when he contemplates the caution around Blazing Saddles, with its ubiquitous use of the N-word, in fact satirizing the racism of the Wild West. And supreme goofball moments, the campfire farting cowboys, for instance. What angers me is that the prudish censors take out a lot of stuff when they show on the TV. It plays fine as a movie, but on TV they have a lot to say about the N-word. I've had praise from the black community, which I'm very happy about. They even cut out shit's load of dimes. I mean, they just denude a lot of the movie when they're prudish. I don't think they even let the farts happen. I'm proud of that scene. No one can eat gallons of baked beans and not be affected. Brooks' indignation sounds mild enough, but he has been reputed to blow his top in the past. Patrick McGillen's 2019 biography, Funny Man, alleges womanizing during Brooks' first marriage, alludes to his outburst of anger, suggests that those who spoke of him afterward feared his temper. Too much to discuss there in a film kill, but Brooks concedes that anger has fueled him. Every comic has a brushstroke of anger, which helps the comedy. I had plenty of that when I was young. His formative youth in the streets of Boca saw him learn how to fend for himself with a kind of pugnacious wit. He had to be really funny. You couldn't get away with phony humor. Kenneth Tynan, writing a profile for The New Yorker in 1978, identified his comedy and feared to put it more positive with a hatred of death. The noise he makes is literally death-defying. He refers to the fact that Brooks' father died when he was just 2 and asked whether he believed in life after death. Brooks, no I don't. I think that's silly. There's no judgment day ever. We're going to die, and because of that, let's have a merry journey and shout about how light is good and dark is not. We should know ourselves more. Know thyself is a lot more important than know thyself. His position hasn't changed. As he bids me adieu, eager to get on with the business at hand, I ask him whether we might see him in London for the show. Quick as with flash, he has a last laugh. I don't know, it's hard to get from the living room to the kitchen, so going to England, it might be a little more difficult. It produces once at the Garrick from August 30th to February 21st.
Yeah. I've never been to a play except in high school, and it was kind of like slow and boring, I guess. Like in all our old movies. I wouldn't mind going to a play one day again. You never watch one as an adult. I remember when I went to college technical school at a trade school and someone once told me like, oh, you can always go to college. It's like, yeah, but if you're going to college at 50 years old, it's kind of better to do when you're young. When your mind's still bright, you can still think. Because people like to say like, oh, when you're 60s or 70s, you're still bright, you can still think straight. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of depends there. That doesn't always, you know... What's the phrase, like, hold true? Most people don't get it, but your mind's not gonna be sharp your whole life. But the fact he's still working at 99 is kind of like a testament to how he's been blessed by God. He's not, like, even admitted it, because he's a Milienta. And the fact he uses the word kvetching. Most people, like, you know, pray to God and be like, you know, I made it to 80, I made it to 72, I can still see, I can still hear, I can still use my legs without, you know, needing a cane. Or a walker or something. Or I don't need hearing aids.
You
but
are
he just
here
acts
on
like that's like a sure
mission.
thing.
You must find, capture, and extract
So
our
my grandma made it
target.
till late 90s and stuff. She had to have hearing aids and stuff. She never complained, but sometimes it seemed like, you know, she'd be... She wondered if she'd make it the next day, but I think she made it to like 96 or 97. I mean, she lived like a long life, and she was happy. Not everyone makes a lot of, like, lives that
We cannot
that
let
long,
our
like
target
97
know we're
years
here.
old or
Track
96.
them down quickly.
I think I'm serious. It's 4. I don't know what these guys are doing, I mean. The time it took me to do this, they could have, like, took this together. I never understand people that, like, do that whole, oh, you know, Germany has to still apologize for whatever happened here. I'm like, that didn't happen when they went to war, that was primarily against communism. any particular group in general they did it for.
You found a target. Capture them quickly before they escape. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Success. The captive is safely in our hands. Congratulations, Tenno.
I'm not saying that people aren't born with talent or they can't, like, you know, refine themselves for the years, but like a lot of shit you get in life is like, you know, being blessed by God. Whether you call it genetics, or you call it something like your parents taught you and stuff. You know, like more fathers need to learn that like your kids should be like your your disciples, whatever. Like you're good at like, you know, fixing cars. You'd be teaching that like as your kids at like a young age and stuff. Some of the do's and don'ts, like what you learn, what you don't learn, and like, well, if you're at a business, like you should want them to like succeed. You can never hear J.K. Rowling saying like, oh, if her kid's gonna take over the Harry Potter empire, if like Warner Brothers is gonna like, you know, be publishing her books, or if they're gonna change them and like do something different with like the characters. I mean, it's that joke about comics in general. I think like if you like get your books printed with like Image, I don't think you get royalties. I think you get like commissions or something, or maybe it is royalties. What's that thing where like in comic books, like everyone's like, oh, you know, like no one wants to make new characters for Marvel and DC because you don't get paid. It's like, well, yeah, you know, it's like a work for hire. You're not dealing, like you're not making coding pay or whatever for this. I'm not saying like being a comic book guy like shouldn't be like a job you can do, but I think that should be like a part-time thing. It's like even if Sky were like as good as like, you know, the people like, you know, Tom Tuttle and J Bomb Fan, everyone on Comicsgate makes him out to be, like he'd be in like Cyberfox 6 and he'd be like doing like the side story stuff with all of his other characters.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Like, Comicsgate needs to realize, like, stop farming super chats. Like, the instant that campaign is done, that book should be out, like, within, like, a span of, like, 2 to 4 months. You should be waiting, like, 6 years for that book you already funded. That's what gets me, like, a lot of these guys. Like, I can't tell if it's, like, incompetence or just laziness. It's like Liam Gray saying, like, oh, I'm not gonna get my books printed because this stuff with China. It's like, right, but like you watch the news, you know, like the tariffs are gonna happen. Trump was reevaluating the stuff with China. Like you will learn that like to print your own books in your house, or like find one locally in Australia. It's like what Ethan's saying, like, oh, you know, he's not gonna have his books printed. Like, I'm sure he will, but like, who's getting them besides like the people in Comicsgate? Like, I'm being serious. Like, you're getting Coming America, and like your like, and if your address is on like your Kickstarter like info, like you're generally. I just made the Twilight Apothic. Bro, was that not the Twilight Apothic? Was that like a different thing I was supposed to make? Oh my gosh. Oh, Lunar Picture? Oh man, I had to go to Lua? No way. No way. Oh man. I'm gonna read more article and get off or two.
Trans woman who concealed gender before performing sex act on a man is found guilty of sexual assault. This is from the Daily Skeptic. You can find this on the archive.is. It's by Richard Eldred, August 22nd, 2025, 5 p.m. A biologically male trans woman who kept a gender secret before sex acts with a man has been found guilty of sexual assault. The male is a story. Ciara Walken, 21, of Stockton-on Tees, was found guilty of multiple charges relating to sex acts he performed of the 21-year-old man over a number of days on June 2022. The sexual assault charges were brought at Teesside Crown Court today after Walken failed to disclose his transgender status to the man, which meant he could not have given informed consent. After drinking and getting to know each other, the pair went to a bedroom where Walken told the defendant he was on the period, preventing him from touching him below the waist as he performed sex acts on him. A few days later, Walken attended the victim's home where further sexual activity took place. The victim's mother and friends had met Walken and suspected he was trans, the court heard. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like it. I don't know why you'd suspect it, but it's kind of obvious. Walken then blocked all contact with the man, but eventually got back in touch with him before telling him via text that he was trans and had male genitalia. The victim, who was described as a naive young man, said the revelation left him feeling sick and told the police that he didn't swing that way. A jury at Teesside Crown Court convicted Walken of 2 counts of sexual assault and 1 of assault by penetration. Walken was granted bail, but the judge said jail was the overwhelming likelihood. The judge urged the prison authorities to consider the very real management issues the jailing the defendant will pose. Again, just put the person like beyond bars or mental asylum for like 30 years. I had an MSN article about. I wish more people like archive their links so that you can. I mean, I guess I can go to Lua, I guess. Almost a 3-hour stream. I have to go to Lua or Ceres.
You are here to find our target and bring them to the extraction point. Happy hunting.
Oh yeah, thank you. Happy hunting.
The capture target has vital information that we will need to extract. We need our subject brought back alive.
That's good.
Target located. Bring them in. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Come on, bro. What the fuck? Stupid Emerson.
Success. The captive is safely in our hands. Congratulations, Tenno.
I'm not going to start archiving the links so that we don't lose these valuable, like, mainstream articles. PBS is apparently going out of business because they're losing public funds. Like, why are you getting public funds for broadcast? I'm supposed to look for something for this new tonic. A lunar picture. It's 4. I didn't know they had this thing. Where did this go to? I don't know where I'm going. That's 4 of them.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Okay, I need to find lunar pictures. I'm not that far, I guess. Definitely fragment. What's this? Lunar picture. Wait. Maybe that's all I need. Before I get to that option.
Great work. I am pleased with your performance.
Oh, 3 hours of streaming. We need lunar pictures and something else. Rook's Claw. Okay, so I need to go to Mars like the last thing. Okay, the notice here. We notice what other news sites don't. Australia News.
Nationalist leader attacked during midnight march through Melbourne. You can find this on Archive today. This is August 9th news. They notice her. Oh, this is that old? I thought it was the ending of August this happened. Shocking video shows a woman in aggressive homelessness runs up to the leader of a nationalist white man fight back protest in Melbourne and attacks him before being knocked out. Thomas Sowell was marching at the head of a column of about 150 members of right-wing activist group, the National Socialist Network, NSN, along Burke Street in the heart of the city just before 1 a.m. on Saturday when he was confronted by the man. In footage obtained by Noticer News, the man can be seen running up to Mrs. Sewell, spitting at him and throwing a flurry of punches before Mrs. Sewell responded with blows of his own. The leader of a political organization, White Australia, then knocked the man to the ground, while a bystander appeared to attempt to break up the scuffle, and a photo of Mrs. Sewell taken after the march showed him with cuts to his ear and temple. Victoria police said a man on no fixed address was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and that they were investigating the incident. No arrests were made throughout the protest, and police had a strong presence to maintain community safety and to prevent any breach of the peace, they said in a statement. The protest group were all dressed in black and wearing masks except for Mrs. Sewell chanted, "White Man Fight Back," and had a flag bearing the same slogan carried at the front of the procession along with the Australian and NSN flags. Both Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen and opposition leader Brad Banton condemned the march, while Jewish groups called for strong laws restricting the rights to protest. Yeah, that's the commies right there, the Yentas. New footage obtained by Noticer News shows the National Social Network breaking through Melbourne's CBD at about 1 a.m. this morning, surrounded by police and stunned onlookers. Anti-Defamation Commission Chair Devir Abramovich, one of the campaigners behind Australia's latest hate symbols law, called the march a war parade and said all neo-Nazi white supremacist groups should be banned immediately. Yesterday, Melbourne witnessed a scene that should freeze the blood of every Australian. An army of neo-Nazis marching formation through our streets, their black uniforms slicing through the city like a blade, Dr. Abramovich told news.com.au. It's a chilling trailer for the full-length horror they are plotting. Jewish Community Council of Victoria President Philip Zajac said the Victorian government should immediately bring into effect controversial anti-vilification laws the critics say infringe upon free speech and protest rights, the Age reported. Ms. Allen praised police for how they handled Midnight March, said they don't have the power their mass protesters when the new laws come into effect in September. I thank police who maintain the public order. It's good they need more powers and we're going to give it to them, she said. We're not afraid of these goons, but we won't tolerate them either. But many Australians defend the nationalist group, saying they preferred them the pro-Palestine protesters who blocked the Sydney Harbour Bridge last week and burned the Australian flag. Well, that's a refreshing change. At least these fellows are not burning the Aussie flag or denigrating Australia, wrote one man on Facebook. Australian flag being proudly displayed, peaceful, no burning flags, and calls for alliance. Don't see an issue, said another. May not agree with them, but compare the market. I'm on this. But compare the market. I'm on this side. If I have to take a side, wrote a third. Many others said they are looking forward to nationwide March for Australia protests planned for every capital city on August 31st in response to the Harbour Bridge controversy.
That's good. Alright, now the end of the stream. It was 3 hours and 5 minutes.